more time. Hollering at you from San Joaquin Valley, California, over here on the west side, the sunny side. There's some places in Fresno that actually call themselves Sunnyside when really, in actuality, in reality, Sunnyside is over here. Because on the other side of that mountain right there is really bad tule fog stretching hundreds of miles along the San Joaquin Valley in California. Just 3 days ago, there was a 43 car pileup in Bakersfield, California, on the 58 highway. And so I'm just looking for my stand. Where is my stand? Did I move it? If I moved it, that'd be no bueno. That means I have to start the whole video all over again. Stay right there. Stay right there. While I go for the stand. Okay, hold on. Let me go get the stand. So I'm coming out of hibernation, basically. And this is my door, by the way. My door in there. Oh, I don't see it over there, so it must be underneath the covers. It must be underneath the covers. So it's finally getting to where almost warmed up. Here, you know, we're going into spring now. A few more days and it'll be New Year's according to the lunar calendar. Chinese New Year. Okay, so it must be underneath these blankets or something. I'm looking for my... Okay. Okay, let's turn this one off because it's getting too caliente. Today is Wednesday, hump day, February. We're almost about to go into spring. We've had sunny skies. And without using too much fuel, but I have to go get some more. I've got half a tank left, so that's unusual. And let me monitor my signal. Make sure everything's on the up and up. And then we'll get started with today's program. Try to sound all professional, huh? It goes, do you remember once? I know I've sung this song before. Do you remember once upon a time when you were mine? The stars above were bright and new. I pulled them down for you just when I fell in love again. You said that all good things must end. Baby, that's just the way it is, baby. And the second chorus goes, the tides that once had carried you away, they bring you back today. The time has washed away my pain. Feel like something's changed and disappeared without a trace. I sung that before. But this thing, when it turns on, it always reminds me of that. When it goes ding, did you hear that just a minute ago? I don't know what sound that is, but that's how that song starts off. If you don't believe me, go listen to the song. I don't know what the exact name of it is. I think it's called That's Just the Way It Is. I don't know. I'll look it up. But anyhow, let me check my signal here. Place the battery, because there's nobody around here who will replace a battery on an electric car. How freaking Stupidsville is that? That's freaking Stupidsville. Especially when there's tons and tons of these cars on the market just ready for these new batteries to go in there. And the battery technology they got now, they can make them 3 times lighter, right? They could just pull out all those old freaking modules and put in, modifying them, put in these new batteries. They're 3 times lighter. Piece of cake, because the battery weighs about 600 pounds. And a lot of that is just metal and stuff like that. So, if they could get that down to like 250 pounds, oh, happy day. 2 dudes could lift that thing, that battery, and replace it. As it is with 600 pounds, you have to have hydraulics and jacks and whatnot to replace it. But they are replacing them. They're on YouTube. They're showing people replacing their own battery by themselves at home. That's amazing. But yeah, this guy's down in San Bernardino. So, the battery packs are like the cost of a new car. And, they need to knock that off and start charging right. But people can rebuild these battery packs. You can take one battery pack and rebuild like 10 of them, because it's just one battery in there. When one battery goes bad, it messes up the whole battery pack. And the battery management system that's on these vehicles, or the software, your OBD scanner, it's already hooked up to your computer. The computer knows which one it is. Each cell is monitored. Each module is monitored by the battery management system. So it knows which one is bad. So the problem is the weight. But if somebody would start paying attention and get some of these new solid state batteries that are supposedly out there on the market already, and because Chery is coming out with a car with them in it this year. What's taking them so long? What's taking so long for somebody to do it? Okay. So, and even if they did do it and you put the video out here, it'll probably get, hidden so you can't see it. But, so yeah, just like on Facebook, if I try to leave a comment on anybody's channel on Facebook, they don't allow me to. It'll put up a red thing. So I guess that's kind of like what's going on with X. They're out there spreading lies with AI. That crap needs to stop. That's bull crap. That's not freedom of speech. That's hindering the human race. That's hindering humanity. You freaking liars, right? That's Lucifer and the fallen angels, aka reptilian shapeshifters. The fallen angels. Okay. So, I just wanted to check my signal here. And then I'll share a couple things with you. Okay, it looks like the signal is perfect. Let's see here. Hold on one second. I got people leaving weird whatchamacallits, usernames. It takes, you got to be a total weirdo to be. Okay, what's going on with my signal? Okay, I'm gonna have to move the okay, it just locked up. Let me put my main phone insane the membrane. That's my old phone. Okay, this one here. Let me put this one over in the sunshine. I don't think the sun's hot enough to heat that phone up too bad. Okay, so we should start getting a better signal here real quick. And then I will begin today's program. Make sure you get your pinworm. Get rid of all them little rascals in there. Get rid of them hookworms, pinworms, roundworms. Get them all. It's down at Walmart. Reese's pinworm. Get her. Okay. And so I need something else to hold this one. Doggone it. There we go. That's pretty good. Okay, so thank you for leaving comments. I can't pronounce your username. Maybe you should get a better username. But thanks for leaving comments. And thanks for double tapping the screen. Yeah, nobody double tapped the screen yet. But I got at least one person in here because it says there's two people, so I know there's at least one person. So today what I want to talk about is the stupidness of the United States. Okay. Everybody knows we were dumbed down. They didn't teach us right in school. They dumbed us down because they weren't smart enough to foresee that technology was going to connect everyone around the world together. They thought that we were we were protected, we were isolated, we're letting nobody in here, and they were wrong. So they thought they could just dumb down the people and basically have slaves. This is what they were doing. So they dumbed down all the people so that they can have slaves from their greed and their wickedness, because they're fallen angels. And so that's why they're so dumb and they can't make nothing. And any technology stuff and the stuff that requires like alien technology, it's all being done in Asia. And some of them are setting up shop over here. But basically, we're the big old dumbos because we never caught on to the metric system. Okay, they had us calculating stuff with 7/16s, 35 42s, 67 98s, 220 seconds, 234s, right? Just basically Stupidsville. While everyone else on planet Earth was on board with the metric system. Everything is in tens. And is it any wonder that most all your famous scientists came from these other places? Like Nikola Tesla, George Lakowski, Wilhelm Reich, who else? Wow, there's a lot more, but I don't recall them right now. but these are the ones that I know about. And and so, and the best of all is Nikola Tesla, right? He had free energy for the whole world. No wires. It was already built. It's absolutely documented. They burnt down the transmitter in Colorado. He was out there living in Colorado for a while, and they burnt that transmitter down. Then he moved over to Manhattan, and I guess that's an island, and he built another one there, and they burned that one down to the ground too. Who is they? Apparently, it was White Westinghouse, and or they were the ones behind it, because uh, what's the largest industry on planet Earth? Energy. That's why they don't want there to be free energy. People out in the Congo would have access to free energy. There's no wires, there's no transmission lines. People out in the Amazon rainforest would have access to this power. People out in the Sahara Desert, it would have made power available on the whole planet, any place on the planet, with no transmission lines, high tension wires. And so is it any wonder that the smart people are not here in the United States? Okay. Now you got all these people saying that, yeah, the economy's going to crash, the economy's crashing, and it's going to be doom, and everybody's going to be starving and whatnot. And I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think it's going to bounce back, and hopefully it'll be the betterment of humanity will evolve into something better and not be such a bunch of greedy, freaking selfish pigs like it is right now. I think what's going to become of the United States, because they dumbed their people down, it's just going to be consumed by all the other nations, because they're coming here like vultures, feeding off the place. It's not going to be the same like it was before. You're going to have all the other nations here. So we got, basically, there's a new sheriff in town. That's what's coming. You know it, and I know it. And so anyhow, right now, now you can say that the whistleblowers were right. David Icke was right. David Icke was right when he told you that the pandemic was a scam. He's also the one who's been telling you about the extraterrestrials since 1995, which they used to laugh at him. Now everyone around the world wants to listen to him, except that 30 European countries have banned him because they don't want him talking to the people, because it must be infested with extraterrestrials, aka the fallen angels, Nephilim. And so he was right. And I got the book right under here, so I'll show it to you right now. It's The Biggest Secret by David Icke. Read chapter 16 in The Biggest Secret by David Icke, and you'll see that these people being hauled into court, Hillary and Bill being hauled into court right now, you'll see that all along, this book that was written 25 years ago by David Icke You go into chapter 16, whose names do you think you're going to see in there? Bill and Hillary. Okay? He already knew about this stuff. He's been saying it for decades. Okay? And so over in the European nation and other places, Asia too, they do not allow our food over there because it's considered hazardous, toxic waste. It's illegal to import this food unless it is labeled hazardous, toxic waste. Okay? And their eggs are different. The way they keep their eggs are different. And their bread is completely different than our bread. And other things. And right now, you know that Hulda Clark is a physicist who I happened to meet at the Freedom Health Expo, World Health Freedom Expo in Long Beach, California in 2007. And this is also where I met Kevin Trudeau. I didn't actually meet him, but I was in the same room with him. I met him in person. I saw him in person, him and Hulda Clark. There was all these different doctors, even I don't know if Dr. Coldwell was there or not. There's all these different doctors and people who are into this field of alternative medicine. And so everyone was saying that I told you the story about Hulda Clark, how I have a background in electronics, so it was easy for me to understand what she was talking about. She came out with this thing that was called the parasite zapper. And that's how I started reading about her, because it made perfect sense to me. Any electronics technician, it will make sense. And so that was unique because 90% of the population does not understand electronics, right? So they're not going to jump in both, you know. Anyhow, they were calling her a quack. And of course, they call anybody a quack who goes against Western medicine, right? And which was monopolized by John D. Rockefeller back in the day. And so she was saying that mercury fillings, which are, people know these as silver fillings for your teeth. Technically, they're called amalgam fillings. These are the silver fillings. She was saying from day one in her book, this is Hulda Clark, okay? She was saying from day one, these amalgam fillings are freaking hazardous, toxic waste. Radioactive, toxic waste, that they actually have uranium in them. Okay? And everyone was saying, oh, she's a nut. She's a nut. Right? Well, in Europe, since 2018, they started banning amalgam fillings from being imported into the country because they are considered hazardous, toxic, freaking waste. Okay? And last year, they completely banned it and illegalized it for any dentist to use these freaking fillings. Do you think they did that here in the United States? I don't think so. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. What Hulda Clark was saying all along is finally being realized by people who are not dumbed down, living in freaking Idiotsville. They've been banned in all of Europe. It's illegal to use amalgam fillings in dentistry as of last year. Okay? And so right now, you know that Bitcoin is on sale. It's like at a really super discount right now. And I gave you my prediction of what it's going to do. And about a week ago, I said, if you have $100,000 just sitting around, I said what my strategy would be if I had that $100,000 that I didn't need, right? It's just sitting around. I'm not going to be, having difficulties paying any of my bills. And what I would do is, and I said this it's about a month ago. I have to look on YouTube to see exactly where it was. And I said what I would do is I would take, did I say 25,000? I think I said 25,000. I would take 25,000 and get into Bitcoin. And well, if you had did that when I said that, your 25,000 would be worth, let me see, 25,000. Well, this one minus, I think it dropped like, how much did it drop just recently? I think it dropped like 10%. Okay, minus 10%. Your 25,000 would be worth 22,000 right now. $22,500, which means you would have lost 22, 23, 24, 25. You would have lost $2,500. Hence, that's why I didn't say to go in with 50,000. Okay? So, if you went in with 25,000, my strategy would be go in another 25,000 right now. Okay? And because I told you when we were sitting up in the 90s, okay, it had dropped down 35% from 126. This is when I said this. You would be down $2,500 right now. And my strategy would be to go in, drop another 25,000 in right now. This would be my strategy. Because I told you that to me it looks like an exact repeat of what happened in 2023. 2022. If you look back at January 2022, this is when I made the video, just a couple days ago, in January. And you'll see that it was down by the same amount we are right now, which was basically 35% until like yesterday. Yesterday it took a big old dump. So now we're sitting down like it's down 40% from 126. So I said that I think, and this is why I said not to put in more than 25,000. I think it's going to repeat exactly what it did in 2022, which means I said that if it drops down to 70, which everybody was like, you're crazy. It's not dropping down to freaking 70%. It's going to the moon, right? And well, everyone should be loading up on it right now. And so I said, if it drops down to 70%, I said, you know it's going down to 40. Okay, people thought I was crazy when I said it was going down to 70. It's almost there now. It's only off by like $5,000, and it'll be touching 70. Okay, so I'm saying if it goes down and it touches 70, you know it's going down to 40. This is no big deal for Bitcoin. Bitcoin does this crap all the time. Just look at the past. And so my strategy would be to go in another 25,000 right now. Then it's up to you where you would want to enter. But I'm thinking somewhere like 63, and it might go down to 40, right? But I'm thinking 63. You don't want to miss the boat, and you don't want to get too greedy. But I'm thinking at 63, go all in. And it might take a year or two, but it always comes back. And I guess Bitcoin Magazine is, they just made a claim this morning saying they think it's going to 1 million this year, 2026. And I would not be surprised. Just look at Bitcoin's history. It does it all the time. Okay? So I'm saying 67, right around there. But of course, if it touches down to 50, everybody's a lot of the people who know what's going on, they're going to be freaking raking that crap up like there was no tomorrow. And yeah, but I'd get in like at 67, and because you don't want to miss the boat. So next, you can, if you want an electric car, because they're coming, everyone's getting the electric cars, and you can get a brand new car. I think they're like 30,000, and these are Japanese. The ones I'm talking about are Japanese. All the cars coming in to Canada, those are all going to be Chinese brands, and really super cool cars. I don't know if you're paying attention to them, but anyhow, this Japanese brand that I'm talking about, I guess it's Ariya. That looks like a really good car. It's an SUV, and they're not too expensive comparably speaking about cars that are on the market. They're not too expensive, and the Leaf is pretty good and relatively inexpensive. And the Leaf is being manufactured in the United States, right? Japan basically set up Japan set up shop in Tennessee, right? They're in Myrna. I think it's Myrna, Tennessee, right by I forget that place. Anyhow, Nashville, I guess it's by Nashville. And so these cars by Nissan, the Nissan Leaf. They've been making these since 2011. There's the first generation, the second generation, and the third generation, I think. And so the second generation, they came out with the Leaf called the Leaf Plus. And the Leaf Plus was getting 150-mile range to 225-mile range. And well, if you take one of these older Nissans, like the one I got, even the first one they made, the one from 2011, and you put a beefed up, well, the one in 2013 is a lot easier to do. So let's just say 2013. You put a beefed up battery pack in there, it will get 225 miles. Because it all depends on the battery pack. So if you replace your original 24 kilowatt battery with a 64 kilowatt battery, you go from 80-mile range up to 225-mile range, which is what the new cars are getting. It just depends on what kind of battery you got in there. And so it makes you wonder, why aren't there mechanics on every freaking corner repairing these batteries? People are doing it by themselves at home with jacks to lift the battery, because the battery pack weighs 600 pounds. That's what the difficulty in it. But people who have freaking, a shop, it's a piece of cake. And the nearest person to here who's actually doing this is in San Bernardino, California. There are none here in the Central Valley. How dumb is that? If you go on YouTube, if you go on Facebook Marketplace, there are dozens of these first generation cars, 2013, 15, 14, dozens of them. Basically giving them away dirt cheap, $2,000, $3,000, because the batteries need to be replaced. But nobody knows how to do it. You don't have to replace the whole battery. You take it out and you take out the module, there's 94 modules in there. Usually you'll have 1 or 2 modules that go bad. If it's really, really bad, you'll have 4 or 5 modules that need to be replaced. You just replace them, rebalance it, and they're in Stupidsville. There's dozens of these cars. I've got one myself. And the battery is still good on it. So yeah. If there was people around who could repair these batteries for, say, a couple grand, they would steal all the business from. There's one company that actually replaces these batteries. It's across the whole United States. The closest one to here is Fresno. They'll charge you $5,000 just for labor, not including the price of the battery. I'm pretty sure. It might be 5,000 replaced. I'm not sure, to repair it. But if people are doing it in their own backyard, that's thousands of dollars to be made. As soon as people catch on and find out that somebody, can repair them, they'll start buying them up like hotcakes. You won't find no more for sale on Marketplace. You look right now, it's freaking flooded with these things, because everybody just sell their car and go buy a new electric because they get hooked on them. Okay. And with all the new batteries technology coming out, people start modifying these. Take out those old modules and put in new solid state. Now, I want to tell you about, before I end this video, I want to tell you about this one type of drink that is, which one is making all this noise? I want to tell you about this one drink It's called prickly pear. If you see it, buy it. You know what prickly pear is? Cactus. But it's the fruit of the cactus, not like the green cactus. Okay, it's the fruit. I don't know if you've ever eaten one. They don't really sell them in stores. Fortunately, they do sell them here at this store. They're called tunas. It's from the cactus plant. You can never find it in there. If you look online, you'll see that it's prickly pear soda. Prickly pear cactus, the tuna of cactus. So if you see it, buy it. I just saw that they have it down in Los Angeles in the fountain drinks. They're offering it. But this sounds really good because prickly pear is really, really good. Okay, so that's all I've got for right now. Thanks for tuning in. Signing out from the San Joaquin Valley in California. It is February, and February 17 is New Year's. Chinese New Year. New Year by the lunar calendar. And you can see that makes a lot more sense than January 1st, because January 1st is absolutely freezing. And you can see the weather out here. It's being more inclined to be, whatchamacallit. I just discovered a new word last night. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. I discovered a word. You know how people say, I'm fiending for, when drugs users are fiending for another hit, right? It's not fiending. It's fiending with a D. That's fiending. I never knew that. I always thought it was fiending. Fiending means fake. Faking. Fiending means faking. But somewhere along the line, it got mixed up. And I guess everyone just started thinking that fiending means, fiending for drugs. There's a difference. There's fiending and there's fiending. I just learned that last night. Just thought I'd share that with you. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I see you in the comments. Jose speaking Spanish in the comments. I may do a video totally in Spanish, just for the fun of it. Because there's a book written in Spanish, and someone does a review of the book, and so I was going to read you that review of the book, which is Kevin Trudeau's book. So I may or may not do that. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the like button, and we'll keep you informed on other upcoming events. But yeah, it's the Bitcoin. That's the big thing that's going on right now. There's a lot of people talking about it on YouTube. And if you want to find out about it, if you want to find out about cryptocurrency, then I've been telling you that there is a person, and they're actually not in the United States. They all hang out on some island. Hopefully it's not Epstein's island, but it's in the Caribbean, I guess. It's I forget what it's called, Caribbean Islands or something like this. But this person teaches a school. He's younger, and he teaches a school, and it teaches cryptocurrency, and they take you by the hand and they show you all this stuff. You remember 2 years ago, I knew zero about cryptocurrency, right? And And so the name of this school, they'll take you by the hand, and it's a basically it's almost like a one-on-one. And and they tell you all the ins and outs, what you're supposed to do. Of course, you could probably learn this off a book. I've showed you a book before. But the name of the school is called Keystone Research Group. And from what I've seen, they're the only ones in the country who are teaching this cryptocurrency online. But last month I found out that a lot of people say cryptocurrency is a scam, right? It's a scam. And yeah, there are a lot of freaking criminals, right? There's a lot of freaking criminals. Why don't they go freaking throw them all in jail? It's bigger than that. You're talking trillions of dollars. And so last month, just a few days ago, I found out that they are actually teaching cryptocurrency now. In the United States, they're teaching cryptocurrency at the universities, namely the university in Boston. I think it's, and the university right here in California, which is University California, Berkeley. Okay. And here's the kicker. They're teaching it for free. You can take the class online or take it on campus, your choice. Okay. So just thought I'd let you know that if you're wondering what it's all about. Okie dokie. Talk to you later.